All right. DNC Transparency and Protections Act. We're going to be talking about that a little bit tonight. What we had started, we're going to get it moving again. We're now in phase one, back in phase 1 and 2. And we're going to be getting back into that. DoorDash app issues. We're going to really jump into that. And that I'm hoping on a lot of participation here tonight. So, and illegal accounts in 2026. Just on the other side, you guys.
Headlight, blindly on a rainy night, steep grade up ahead, slow me down and making no time. I gotta keep it rolling. Those are windshield wipers slapping out the tempo, breaking from the rhythm with the song on the radio.
Welcome everybody to the Gig App Worker Rodeo Podcast. Man, been cranking out a lot this year so far. Done a lot of things this year, and we're going to get into something pretty big tonight. So we're going to break this down into a few parts. I don't know if you guys have noticed the ebb and flow of the podcast lately, and all the projects are different. So what I do on Thursday, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a delay here, so I'm trying to see if it can catch up. There we go. That's a little better. If you're ever on this end of doing a podcast, especially on video, you'll know that these can drive you nuts when the sound's off or and now the video is glitching, which leads me to potentially, if we have time tonight, we're going to talk about StreamYard for a minute. Otherwise, we'll talk about it on Thursday. Not real happy with StreamYard, and now I'm watching them fail at the only thing they're supposed to do. But I want to talk about the DoorDash app issues that we talked about on 13 this week. I want to talk about the illegal accounts, and I want to talk about the DMC. And we're back in the saddle with phase 1 and 2. So if we already submitted to your state, we're going to follow up. If we didn't, we're going to submit your state. If you want to get it submitted and you live there, you hit me up. You know my email; it's right there. It's also can be found on my homepage of my YouTube channel. But guys, welcome again to the podcast. Let me see if this is all doing here. I'm going to say hi to some people if you guys are in here yet. And if it's still doing it, I'm going to play a quick little video. And then hopefully on the other side, it'll self-correct because it's definitely got some weird delay thing going. What's up, Traveler? What's up, Sean? What's up, Mike? What's up, Sue? What's up, Sassy? Haven't seen you in a minute. How you doing? Have I even seen you this year? Happy New Year if I haven't. And yeah, I see. I'm watching over here too. For some reason, StreamYard isn't picking up everybody. What's up, Brian Kerner? Maybe it's just delayed. It is delayed that much right now. This is unbelievable. StreamYard, get your shit together for real. What's up, Torp? And what's up, Billy? And I see Brian. Just so you guys know that are in the live chat on YouTube, I see the last comment in StreamYard is Brian Kern's beer mug. Does that help you guys? If you guys look up, I'm looking on my phone to see where it is. All right. What a joke, man. And StreamYard, you are at every podcast movement, and I'm going to be there speaking. Guess what? We're going to have a talk because I've been by your table before, and we've actually had, well, that was with the old team. You guys have sold it since I've been. So let me introduce myself. My name is Steve. You will be seeing me in Austin at your booth, and I will be requesting at least a half-hour sit down with your team. So, and if you don't want to do it, I will stand there. Well, if you guys haven't really been involved in one yet, so StreamYard, let me welcome you to podcast movement this year. I will be one of the first. I'm also speaking on 2 panels. So hopefully I'll talk to you before those panels, right? Yeah. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about with StreamYard, if we have time, we'll talk about it a little bit tonight. I made a community post. This is still glitchy, so I am going to, it looks like it's flowing better on the YouTube thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll use Restream. Maybe I'll just start using the YouTube when I'm alone. Maybe I'll just use the YouTube interface. I used to not like it, but this is ridiculous. But yeah, if anybody has seen Joe in a minute, we need Joe back. And there's a little bit of concern from those of us that know him very well. Nothing huge, you guys, but just Joe, you got to check in with us once in a while. I'm going to try and see if I can reset my wireless to the other wireless in this house. Let me see if that does something good. But in the meantime, it doesn't matter if you drive for Uber or not. One of these is coming to you soon. And on the other side of this, immediately, we're going to get into these illegal accounts.
Hey there, folks. Looking for those best deals in town? Come on down to Uber Emporium. We got deals and steals here. Officially forgotten miscellaneous stuff for us, direct from the passenger's back pocket to the seat of a random Uber to you. And we pass the savings on. We got deals and steals. Come on down. Everything's 50% off plus surge. You can pay through the app. Don't worry, you're probably getting charged for it anyways. We do get discounts for Uber Teen out there if you can show that. You have to be. We don't care about unaccompanied minors in this store. Let me tell you. Not that Uber does, anyways. But anyways, let's get to the products here tonight. Today we're featuring candy, boxed and individual. We got this brand new, half-eaten, half-full box bag of Luden's cough drops right here. Wild cherry flavor, that's the best one. Tastes like candy. I like to rub it on my gums in the morning. Keeps my teeth sharp. Anyways, we'll send you the whole bag. Or if you just want a couple pieces, we can do that. We can make that happen too. We got prescription medication over the counter and under the counter, and alongside the counter. What is this? This is just a box, but this is Tylenol PM, folks. So for those long Uber rides that you're gonna probably forget some more stuff and leave in someone else's Uber, don't worry. This could be yours. It could already been yours. Actually, if you forgot it in an Uber, here's your chance to buy it back. But we got Tylenol and Tylenol PM. Let's see here. That's it for medical stuff. Oh, hey, just this forgotten in an Uber Black SUV, but it was only occupied by one person. And not naming any names, but that person happens to be in a lot of legal trouble in the news. If I mention the name, you might be thinking like, oh, okay, well, they like to party a little too hard. This is a male urinal. So for those really long trips, this comes in handy. Let's see here. Can we get a close up on that? Yeah, boxed, ready to go. Some cleaning required, but this is a good one. Bathroom safety. It's all about bathroom safety. You don't want to get those cleaning fees for just, whatever the price we're going to let this one go for. Again, everything's 50% off plus surge. Discounts, there's discounts all the time. On the other hand, there's also surge all the time, so it kind of balances out. Anyways, come on down to Uber Emporium. We got everything. Come on down. We'll make a deal. Just call us in the app.
Oh, bless you, Joe. And I don't know if everybody got to see the gig show that he was doing on his second channel, Lake Falls Studios. Both Dark Road Run and Lake Falls Studios are taken down. That's why I said I'm trying to get in touch with Joe. I know him very well. So do some other people I know, and none of us have heard from him in a little minute. So hopefully everything's okay. But if you never caught the gig show on Lake Falls Studios, he only got to like 4 or 5 episodes, but they were so hilarious. So anyway, let's get into this. So before we get into the problems with DoorDash, I want to tell you guys, I went and I want to get more into what Luis was telling us. Now, if you guys remember when Luis was on last week, it was a long podcast, but at the end, we got into the roundtable. And right before that part, I think a lot of people might have missed this because they saw the start or they saw that ending half hour that I put out as a segment. If you missed this, there's a TikTok, or we all worried about Facebook illegal accounts because in 2025, to get a DoorDash, a Spark, those were like 80% plus of the illegal accounts. My guess on DoorDash is because it's so simple to get on it. They don't require nearly as much as other apps, like Rideshare, of course, requires stuff about your car, even like, so pictures, you got to have it checked out. So, I mean, they're all different, but DoorDash seems to be the easiest to get on. Now, I know they all use the same $23 background check. The company is called Checker, and they suck. So if you guys missed it, and if you're like, he didn't just say that out loud, did he? I did. Checker is the cheapest background check on the planet, and it sucks. And why wouldn't you expect it to suck? It's the cheapest on the planet. And Corey or Sean knows, because we've been talking about how, rideshare drivers need fingerprinting, this, that, the other. And thanks a lot, StreamYard. I've lost the chat over here. Luckily, I have my phone going so I can see it over here, because this is bullshit. But Luis mentioned about the TikTok accounts. So in 2026, the Facebook thing is still there, but it became so... some of it is shut down, and some of it just seems kind of archaic. It's like what you had to go through and all this, really, it just wasn't making sense. So what happens here in 2026? So in 2026, Luis told us last week about TikTok channels. TikTok channels selling. Now, if you guys aren't on TikTok, I am. I've been there for a long time. I've been through all their three big changes. The latest one was crazy because it flags everything. It flags, like the short I made about the drone delivery robot. The same video, I made that on TikTok and brought it over to here. People love it on here. YouTube's playing it. And over there, they said, you can't play this. Again, it's something having to do with, because that company is affiliated with who runs TikTok now. Well, let's go above and beyond that. Let's go above and beyond me or another channel on TikTok. I want to talk about this, because this is disgusting on every level. So what Luis had mentioned is that I got to keep this real. I got to keep it so I can see that over there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns as we go, please put them in there. Okay. In 2025, we were all worried about Facebook. Here we are in 2026. Facebook's tamed down a bit. I don't think it's because Meta and Facebook decided they wanted to clean up their act. However, TikTok is the new way. And Luis told us about it. And if you guys did catch it, I said to him, will you send me some of those? Because they don't appear in your algorithm until they appear in your algorithm. So immediately he sent me one. He sent me another one. He's now sent me like 5. He sent me screenshots. But I've actually, some of them he's sent and he's gone, this one's going on now. So I've had the, I don't want to say the pleasure. I've had the unpleasure of watching these live myself. I'm not going on secondhand knowledge now. This is straight up what I saw. Now, Luis had a lot of trouble with Spark because last year and the year before, because he was exposing what was going on with Spark illegal accounts. I have blacked out things, and I don't see how this could be a problem. I mean, I'm not concerned, because this shouldn't be a problem, because what I'm going to show you is what these people have up on TikTok. This is real. This is what is up on TikTok. I did black out their names for a couple of reasons. I blacked out the names because I don't want you going there. I will never tell you guys where these are. Luis shared them with me. They are now in my algorithm. Ones he hasn't sent me. I had one yet last night come up that he hadn't sent me. So now, like he was saying, I think he was kind of alluding to that, like, don't watch it. Don't get it in your algorithm, because they're all over. So, well, I'm going to show you a few, but remember, we're dealing with hundreds, if not thousands of these people. And what I'm going to show you is unbelievable. So they run these live streams anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. What I can tell so far is 3 to 4 hours seems, or until they're sold out, seems to be about what they do. It's very strange. I don't know what order I have these in, so we'll just talk about them. I have five to show you guys. Let's go with this one first. So this is somebody, this is at the end of his live. This is what it looks like. The rest you'll kind of see. Two are live, three are live that I'm going to show you out of the 5. One is a promotion for one coming up. But what this guy is doing is he is selling active Spark driver accounts, active Amazon Flex accounts, active DoorDash accounts, and active Shipped Shopper accounts. But how they do this is they start a live stream and they put this up and they start talking about what they have and they start selling them in real time. We have never seen anything like this. Some of these guys, like Luis said, he only mentioned likes. He said, I saw one that had 1,500 likes. Well, I started going through some of these because remember, again, if you don't visit TikTok, when a live is over, it is moved immediately to their studio. It's not even an option. It's moved to studio. You can't keep it up on TikTok. But nonetheless, people are reporting these and they're not doing anything about them. And that's why I pulled up this screenshot. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but see those diamonds and little pluses and colors down at the bottom. That means that he is taking in StreamYard revenue to be running his live. That's when you put things up and you get a portion of it, but other people get a portion. And it's not like a YouTube affiliation split or other affiliate splits. I believe it is 70% to 30%, and the 30% is to the people. 70% is kept by the platform TikTok. So maybe that's why TikTok doesn't shut these down, because as long as they're getting these likes too, which aren't paying for what I'm about to explain, these are just people donating for him to be live kind of thing. So you can't see a ton there, but this is one guy doing it. Now, here is a guy doing it. Well, here, let me move to this one because it's easier to read. Oh, wait, no. It isn't much easier to read. Well, regardless, these are people doing, if you can see at the bottom, real lightly at the bottom of those locations, you can see live, right? These live, that little pink circle by all the blacked out stuff about his name. By the way, some of these have phone numbers as well. But you can see the states and the city. So you might go, hey, you see, I think Denver's on there, right? Is it? Well, let's pretend it is. I think I see it on there, but I have different sets of glasses, and this one doesn't do both my long and near vision. Let's say that says Denver. Even if it does say Denver, now this is for Flex accounts. You could say, okay, I'll take a Denver. Maybe you just came into the stream. The guy, now this is a guy in real time, will say, oh, we just sold out of Denver. I do have Omaha, Nebraska, or I do have this. And he'll say to you, because he'll say, what are you looking for? I want a DoorDash. Okay, I want DoorDash in Denver. Okay, we just sold out of DoorDash Denver. However, I have DoorDash Omaha. And if you activate, if you buy that one, you can dash anywhere you want. Now, you can't do that on the other apps we're selling, but you can on DoorDash. So you can buy the Omaha one and you can be fine. They sell the shit out of these. These live streams sell upward of 700 plus accounts in a 3 to 4 hour stream. Now imagine hundreds, if not thousands of people doing this nightly. These are shipped accounts. Again, you can see they're not everywhere. So all of these live streams change. It's like, this is what he's going to have to sell. And they'll run 3 to 4 hours. But if they sell out, like, you just don't know. It's not like this is all unlimited. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, when this starts, he might have 15 Denvers. He might have, I'm having trouble seeing him. I see, is that Georgia? He might have 50 Georgias. He might have 100 Detroits. Who knows? But they just sell and sell and sell until they're gone. And then they stop the live stream. But not only are they doing this in a live stream, they're selling them. They're selling them. They're saying, send me this money right now. And then they have other people in this system, how it works. And those people are processing your money in the live, getting you activated so that you can see it active. I saw some of the reviews on this stuff and did a little deeper digging. And I got to tell you guys, there are not people in there, maybe a couple but they seem more like bot answers or fake ones against it. which you would think it was the other way. The real answers were, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. Like basically like they give you, they're expensive. So they give you a refund if it doesn't work. These are accounts. These are accounts that you will be able to work. And again, remember, by buying one of these accounts, you're not paying taxes on it. Potentially somebody else is, or somehow they have maybe they have other ways too of creating people. I can't tell you guys how it's working, but all I do know is by doing this, you're not paying taxes. Now, that's not what I'm here to get on their ass about, because I always tax deduct everything I can legally, but I make independent contractor work to my advantage every year come taxes. I know some of you guys struggle with that a little bit. I'm not an expert, but I know what works for me, and I crush it. Now, I've had a kid to write off. This will be the first time I can't do that. However, I will still crush it. My miles, all that kind of stuff. Just play it smart. But this guy's selling Shipped. Now, I want to show you this one. See underneath what this guy's selling: Uber, Spark Driver, Amazon Flex, DoorDash, Veho, Instacart, Ship Shoppers. This guy's last live, he sold 1,100 accounts. Over 600 of them were to DoorDash. I think it was a 3-hour live stream. Now, if you see underneath, now this is a unique one. I saw a couple others like it. If you see the blackout right here that I had to do, and right above it, it says mi numero. He has a phone number right there in big numbers. You can call him directly and buy accounts. You can buy them on the live stream. He has, what does he have? 1,173 following, and he has 11,100 likes. If you guys are not completely blown away, I don't even know what to say anymore. Hey, Christopher Taylor, thank you very much for that. I'm playing between these two tonight, so I don't know why I can't even touch it or do anything. Like, but thank you for that. I appreciate it as always. And now StreamYard's catching up. Whatever, StreamYard. Okay, so now we can go down this a little bit. I want to catch up with you guys before I go any farther, because this right here is absolutely ridiculous. Clearly, TikTok knows. I know people who have reported this. Not this guy, but these. Again, guys, I've shown you 4. There could be 4,000 people doing this. I have no idea. Luis has no idea. Luis has seen like 50 doing it. I saw like the 3 Luis sent me, and now I've seen like 2 or 3 more that came up in my feed. My guess is a lot of people are doing this, because selling it in real time. Are you shitting me? You're allowing me to go up there and go, hey, you want social security numbers? Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Let's go. Send me money. But you'll strike a stream that shows a delivery robot tumbling down a staircase? Come on, TikTok. You used to be the one that would crack down on this shit, but allow all the cool stuff. Now it's like nobody can put cool stuff up there, but you're okay with this crap as long as they're running the bonuses that make you the 70% of all bonus money drawn in. So there's TikTok's portion. Just horrible, horrible. But the bigger picture is, put a thumbs up in the chat if you think DoorDash does not know this is going on. If you think DoorDash does know this is going on, put a thumbs down. I want to see what you guys do. At the very bottom right now, I do see Torp's question. I would love to see how I would love to hear that answer. If it's a fake account, basically, it's not a fake account, by the way. These are real accounts. These are real accounts. How they were created might be a fake mechanism, but these are real accounts. So you get to take a picture. Your picture will match. You get to tie your bank account into it. I mean, worst case scenario, the user's kind of in the small fish position. I don't know. The guy was selling them. I bought it. I don't know. Blah. You play stupid. Now, again, some people are going to know bullshit. You knew what you were buying, but that's not what they're looking for. They need TikTok or DoorDash to crack down on this shit. And then they need, and then they need to, they don't want the small fish. They want to go after these and end them. But they kind of need, they need TikTok to step in. They need DoorDash to care. I know that because of the Facebook marketplace, fake accounts, illegal accounts not working anymore. I know that they had to go somewhere else. Who knew they'd go to TikTok, live stream, sell them, and be pumping out probably just in a guesstimate. I mean, I'll have to wait and see like a 3-month number, but just in a guesstimate, my guesstimate would be at least, I think way higher, but at least 500% of the fake accounts. Luis said way higher too. So I would probably say 20 times, but at least 5 times as many fake accounts are going through TikTok Live as did through Facebook Marketplace. Just saying. It's just that TikTok, for all the jokes we used to make about TikTok does have better security. And they used to like care and really not allow that crap. Facebook was the one. But now we have a live platform that's allowing this. And so Torp went on to say, how or why would anybody want to attach their banking? Again, I go back to the fact of just playing little fish. I think all these people are in a position of, if they get caught, first of all, they're just not going to contest it. You just take the money you've made off it and you leave. I mean, again, everybody has to remember, like, I think I feel what Torp's saying, but I'm feeling so many things that I don't even know what the hell to say, but they've already been paid. Let's say they get this, they buy a fake, real, whatever you want to call these, the bullshit accounts. They buy one of these, they get it to work for 6 months, and then they get deactivated. No different than us getting deactivated. They're just going to say, I think that was a fake account. It's treated like a bot or something. That's just kind of like, okay, we'll deactivate it. They don't go back and go, give us all that money you earned. So they're not taking anybody to court for this kind of crap. Those are what I was referring to as small fish. So you're fine to tie a bank account to it. I don't know. Where'd you get this? Did you sign up for DoorDash to get this? No, some guy in an alley sold it to me. Prove me wrong. Nobody's going to take that case on. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but that's why you have to go after the big fish. You have to go after the people selling them. Because if those people were selling fake accounts, because we saw this on Facebook Marketplace last year, if those people were selling fake accounts, they would get shut down by their own community. People would get in there and comment and go, this guy just sells fake. It's all BS. And I had seen this happen. And those would go down because people did try. Like, I'll just sell you. And they wouldn't even give them anything as far as I know. It was just like, give me your money. I didn't get anything. Yeah, I know. Like, and those people would get called out and they'd be done. It was the people who were legitimately selling real/fake accounts who were moving up in the Facebook Marketplace game. And people were like, yeah, they're legit. So once you got that, other people would do it. So you started finding out who the legit ones are. As far as I can tell, that's exactly what's going on TikTok. The only difference is the live time puts this in a whole new spin. I mean, are you kidding me? In real time, because I mean, like, that's even easier. Facebook Marketplace was like, you got to send them this, you got to send this, go to Instagram, communicate with this person. You want this? Cool. Call this number right now. Person right next to me is going to take your call. Boom. You could have a DoorDash account. In fact, one of the comments was, this was a comment. Now I had to translate a lot of them. So I had to take them in Spanish, put them through translator because I had it open at the same time I was doing some investigating. But I took a couple of the comments. One of the comments was somebody praising it and said that he had bought a DoorDash account, and he said that he bought it on a Thursday on a 2 p.m. live stream in whatever time zone he was. I don't know. He said that he the purchase was made during the live stream. By 2:10, the purchase has been made. The link had been sent. He already had connected, uploaded his picture, all within under an hour. And he was able to dash 2 hours after he bought the account on TikTok Live. Any of us that know anything know that timeline is just not even possible. But again, he's not lying. I kept seeing comments like this. I'm not going to play the video clips. You guys can go on TikTok and find these yourself. They're not hard to find, sadly. But in real time, and in fact, if any of you are on TikTok, you should report them all. Report them all. Because I know people reporting them that's not doing anything. So maybe some more. I don't know. But the fact that people are on there going, no, they're like talking to each other. No, this is one of the good sellers. Like, and then they know each other. They'll be like, so-and-so, hey, it's so-and-so. Yeah. And they'll be doing what we all do in chat. Hey, what's up, guys? And they know each other. And they're like, hey, I bought a DoorDash account, but I need a Flex account. I saw this guy selling them. Is he legit? See, I was translating some of these things. And I saw their conversations between them. And then the other guy go, yeah, he's legit. I bought from this guy before. And then right away, the other guy would buy one. I mean, I was watching things that were literally blowing my mind. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is fraud. This is racketeering. This is identity theft. This is federal. This is wire fraud. I don't know what other scam technology lawyers might put on them, but come on, DoorDash. Somebody asked me, you Tony Shu, on the rideshare guy, during the pandemic in the second year said that you had 16 million drivers. People questioned that. Now he meant full and part-time. People questioned that and said, yeah, I bet it was less. He just screwed up and said the wrong number. First of all, they don't screw up and say the wrong number. And if they do, they correct it immediately. That was the right number. At the round table, he said we have 8.5 million dashers. Part-time, full-time. Uber in the United States, okay, this is Uber and Uber Eats and any other illegal things you can do on the Uber platform, Connect, all that crap. Again, only legal if you're bonded for Connect, only legal to do liquor delivery if you've passed your liquor certification for the state. And I've done 5 states. I did see that Roy, shout out to Roy, because I did see that Roy was playing my video and he did mention, he goes, he heard me say it. He goes, oh, Steve said the DoorDashers need to be state certified with liquor law. No, it's each state. So I hadn't done Nevada yet. So he did it in real time. He goes, let's see if he's right. And he checked and he said, well, yeah, you do. He goes, all you DoorDashers, you're not with a liquor license, you're doing it illegally. So that's 6 states now. All of these things exist on the app because they're offers. You're an independent contractor. You should know the game. I don't even know. It's a high percentage. Most people I know believe if it's on the app, it's legal. It's not. It is legal if you're properly certified or bonded to do such. You know, you can't. I know that they play tricks on us, so I'm not accusing anybody of doing something wrong. In fact, in my book, none of it's on you because so many of you came from the W-2 industry. I think that's why I've been able to help in some of these respects because I came from traditional independent contractor work for over 10 years before Travis even founded Uber in 2009. In 1996-7, I was learning lasers in Miami. So once I left, I was all independent contractor. So I've done enough production work and all this, that, and the other. I understand it. I understand there can be differences in how it's done, but the basic principles stand, period. I always wondered why they didn't have a hybrid definition, but hey, they don't. A lot of people come from the W-2 mindset, and I get that. And I'm not saying it's your fault, but it is the fault of DoorDash, Spark, any of the companies that we just had up there on the board. Here. Uber, Spark Driver, Amazon Flex, DoorDash, Viho, Instacart, Ship Shoppers. Remember, guys, these are not bots. These are not so you can buy an Instacart account here. Then you can go on TikTok or on Instagram is the biggest one for bots. And you can get Instacart bots. So you can buy a fake account, then you can buy bots. You could be illegal on like 3 different levels, and none of it's you with no accountability. Now you'll have to spend a lot of money. These are not cheap. The accounts are not cheap. Bots are not cheap. And the bots I don't even understand anymore because I don't think they can even pay themselves off anymore. And I've seen the amount of Instacart bot people trying to push bot sales way down. So Instacart must be suffering in that respect. But it's embarrassing, you guys. This is something, if you're on TikTok, you owe it to our community to do something. If you do gig work and you're on TikTok, even if it's just for fun, go find some of these. Go call them out. Because I am just purely disgusted. And for the audio podcast listeners, I know you didn't get to see the images, but you know, they're just images of, you know, showing people, you know, hey, we're selling these accounts. Hey, we're going to sell these accounts tonight at 9. Hey, join us live. We're going live to sell these accounts. And then they have their cities. That's the other thing. They are tailored down like, no, I don't have that city, but I have this city. But I don't have shipped there, but I do have a DoorDash in Denver. And it's like if you ask them for something in a city that they're listing, like, let's bring that up. Okay, so let's say that this guy is selling in Phoenix, Arizona, and you are looking for a Instacart or an Amazon Flex, and you say, hey, and he's got Phoenix listed, and you're like, hey, I want an Instacart and an Amazon Flex, and he says, we just sold out of Instacart. I do have Amazon Flex. I also have Viho, DoorDash, and Uber Eats where you are. Are you interested in any of those? That's how crazy this gets. So you might be going to there for something, find out it's sold out, and be talked into buying a different account. I mean, these guys are spending tons of money. There's no security in what this is. Yeah, the fake shipped accounts are out there. It depends on the market. I will say this, Christopher Taylor, I have never, ever seen, I've only seen a few of those screenshots. I have not seen Mesa, you know, and I just said Phoenix there, but I have not seen Mesa. So what is this? Oh, maybe, but but again, I gotta say, guys, listen, I understand what Sue's saying. Maybe they get a Crimson card, they pull out all the cash, and then we know a lot of people send it back home, right? So, okay, maybe that's happening. But the other part is it doesn't matter. Hook it up to your bank account. Again, nobody's come. Here's the problem. It just needs to end. We need to end it because nobody's coming after you. It's not like you did commit a crime, but you committed a crime where nobody's looking for you because even if they do start to look, they want the people selling them. They don't give a shit who bought them. They don't care. They figure that'll all shake out in the mix with time. You know, I know that the 3 biggest ones that we were told by Luis, and it was what I saw the most prominent, and even the people selling all of those that I just showed, the 3 most prominent in order were DoorDash. These are the ones that are the most sold. DoorDash first, highest, then Spark Driver, and then Amazon. Those were the top 3 in order, 1, 2, 3. You know, if they deactivate you, they deactivate you. You pull all the money out of your bank and you close the bank down. Again, a lot of these people who have these banks or however they're getting the money, it doesn't matter because there needs to be proven a crime. And even if they can say, well, there was a crime, they have to prove the crime. Look, one of the great things about this country, but in this case, it sucks, dude, because they do have to prove there was a crime committed. but they're never going to go after the person who buys the account. They're going to find the person selling the accounts and shut them down and then potentially go after them. But I don't even know if they go after them or they just kind of put them in some database of watch him. He creates any social anything. I don't even know. I don't know what they do about this. I know they barely did anything for 2 years about Facebook Marketplace, and Meta's one of the largest websites in the world, or Facebook. And I can't tell you, and I'm sure I don't do Facebook anymore, but I can tell you guys that if you're on Facebook, I'm sure you've seen this before. Their emails coming in all the time talk about security. We're working on the security. We're beefing up and they say things like, we're beefing up our already amazing security. Really? Because that security on one topic last year, not to mention 100 others, 1,000 others, but the one topic that affects all of us, gig work, you didn't do an amazing job. You didn't do a good job. You didn't do any job. In fact, if anything, you have people who watched those illegal presences go by and did nothing about it. Scumbaggery. There, I gotta get it in there. Y'all see that? That's right. Thank you, Kim, for this, by the way. When we did Roundtable, Kim gave that to me. Because my answers would be harsh. I'm going to look through your guys' comments because I don't even, I was going to have a hard time doing this today because I'm so pissed. I am so pissed that Marketplace was one thing. They were using multi VPNs, all this, that, the other, and it doesn't make it any better. You're using Bitcoin. I mean, I check into these. I asked somebody what they needed for Instacart bots on Instagram last year when I was doing something on it, and they sent me back what they needed. I forgot to even ask them about the price because I didn't even want to communicate with them anymore. I was like, what do you need to get it started? And when they sent back what they needed, I was like, seriously? And I was joking with Luis about it. Like, seriously, people provide this shit. Like we need your driver's license. We need your social. We need it wasn't just like, we need your DoorDash account login info or Instacart. It was like, they needed a lot of shit. Like things that I signed up for these apps so long ago, I don't remember what I needed. And again, if people signed up when I did and say, well, you needed this, we don't know that today that's what they need. I don't know what they asked for today if you sign up for Instacart, and most of you don't either. I doubt any of you in this chat signed up for Instacart today. Maybe you did. But again, if we compared, like if somebody in the chats signed up for Instacart 4 years ago, 2 years ago, and then today, my guess is it all looks, even if it's not a lot, it's a little different. But you had to go find these. And then I think we all have that feeling, even if you don't spend much time on Facebook. Facebook Marketplace is sketchy, dude. Like in your local area, sometimes like somebody in your neighborhood might be giving away something and say, I'll just leave it on the porch for you. Those kind of things seem to work. But like when I was searching for my son's car, I used Marketplace, and luckily I finally ended up finding something in Marketplace. But I had to look forever because I'm on a very tight budget for this, right? When I got him his car, and it was used, of course, and trying to find something reliable. I contacted 40 people on Marketplace. Most responded, but were like, oh, I don't have that car anymore. But I got, like, it was again just scams. And then probably I went and saw about 7 or 8 cars. The car, anytime I went, I was like, where'd you get the pictures that you posted? Because this ain't the same car. I mean, it would be like the same model, but rusted. And the one they posted was like not rusted. And there's like a palm tree in the picture. And I'm like, we don't have palm trees in Denver. So I don't know. Marketplace just became this whole scamming thing. Well, TikTok's no better. And now live streaming it. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah. So, What is this one? And DoorDash has the nerve to send an email earlier last week about fraud. Yeah, I mean, Billy, like this is what they do. It's like they hear, and we know they do. My podcast, the audio part, I don't know what they watch and what they don't, but the audio podcast, ever since our transparency laws here in Colorado, has been a staple point. It's kind of been a great introduction piece for me because it got used on the Senate floor. So I know, and I'm the DoorDash lobbyist. I met a couple. I know them. I mean, I don't know them, but I met them. They know who I am too. And I can tell you that they pay attention to this stuff on levels you wouldn't believe. There are lobbyists all over any city buildings surrounding this topic. In any city, like anywhere you guys live, there might not be 100 or 10 like here. There might just be one. But there's a lobbyist in your city who's all the time down there just being a scumbag. Like listening, trying to break in, and what littlest do we have to do, and trying to, we're just trying to keep away the unions. Well, so am I. I don't want to be on your side though. It's crazy. So that's why we need to get all this sorted out. But they do things like what we were talking about. They say, yeah, we had an email about fraud, or we're concerned about fraud and fraudulent activity on our app. No, you're not. You sent that out because when the levels get too high, investors get worried. Because these days, even at Tony Shu's 8.5 million dashers, we only have, and I know some are part-time, but the number we used to use of 170 went down. W-2 workers, W-2 employed people in the United States is now 150 low, like maybe 151, 152, but we'll call it 150,000 working people in the United States. Or I'm sorry, 150 million people working in the United States. Now, that means, because we have about 340 million people. So about 35-40% of the people in the United States work full-time. Now, that number was 170 million. It went down to 150 million. Now, independent contractorship, if you go back 10 years, is at about 38. Well, now, and it always was making sizable jumps. Now it's at 76 million. Now that 76 million comes out of the 150 million. So this is where it's important, because it probably is going to need to be a little more, because guess what? At 76 million, if it is 150, what just happened? There are now more self-employed freelancers, independent contractors in this country than people working W-2s. Let that sink in. Now, there's always been a lot, but it used to be in the 30s and 40s. Gig apps changed that game. So we're saying now, even if somebody wants to go, no, I checked and it was 49.88%, go ahead. And I'll golf clap you for looking up the actual stat. My point being, if 150 million are working, and we're approximately looking at 76 million independent contractors, freelancers, self-employed, which also self-employed, also, if you guys don't know, includes people who have retired who can live on their retirement without having to work. And that's important, because most people can't retire these days. So my point is, it's like W-2 world is going like this, and it's not just people wanting to jump ship. It's a lot of people are getting forced out because there aren't jobs. We knew about the ghost scams of jobs and stuff before, but nothing like this. This is crazy. Like, the ghost scam was that a place puts out an ad saying, we need 10 people at Schwab Trading downtown Denver. You get 100 applicants and you say, yeah, we'll be calling back for interviews next week, but really you're not even hiring one person. And they do this around end of quarter reports or reports for the job reports for the governments and stuff. I don't want to go too far down the scumbaggery political hole, but you guys can see where I'm going with that. This is, again, suitcases of money go to people and they say, hey, you have 2.2% more jobs available in Denver this year over last year, right? Wink, wink. And they're like, yeah. And they cover their tracks with these ghost interviews or ghost hirings, positions that don't exist. But they waste people's time and bring them down there. I've even heard it taken to the next level. I've even heard of them doing callbacks on ghost jobs where they never hired a person. But they called back 5 of them that they kind of thought, well, I'm impressed with this. And what did they do during the interview? They said, in this scenario, what would you do? But what they were really doing was putting their real life work on the table and seeing and getting exterior income or like input from people who aren't day to day in that building with them, who they thought deemed well enough that could work there, but don't. Still with the intent of never hiring them. Scumbaggery. And where does it end? I don't know anymore. I mean, at this point, I'm surprised that I'm being honest. I'm surprised that the McDonald's down my street still has a now hiring sign out for $21 an hour to start. I hate to say this, but I'm surprised A, that hasn't come down, or B, that hasn't turned into $17. Because, and here's why I say this, there are no jobs out there. People who would say, I would never work at McDonald's, they're in line applying right now. I don't understand why it would be so hard to fix things. Like for me, hell, DoorDash, contract with me. Give me $50,000 in 6 months. I'll go to work with the people who are working with you, but you're restricting how much they can do incognito. I will call him, friends with him. We'll call him. We'll grassroots it. We'll do what he said. We'll double your profits by removing the lowest 10% of the bad actors on your platform that you know about. You know about them, DoorDash. And if you guys are going, well, if they'd make twice the profits, why wouldn't they just do that? Because they did their math, and the math ain't mathing. Because without the bad actors, the $2 orders don't get taken. So then, well, can you really double our profits? Because you're working on data that says these people are like he's above the board. He's a straight shooter. He's the CEO of Incognito, the largest security company in the world for cyber. He's been on the podcast before. We'll have him back on. But he suggested first thing to DoorDash, take from our data, take the bottom 10% of your worst actors, get rid of them today. Tell them they were deactivated for being assholes. Like he was that point blank. Like, hey, scumbag, you're deactivated. Don't try that shit again. It's not like they're going to sue you. But his point was, get rid of them. If we can get rid of them, we can make you twice the profit. But I think in DoorDash's head, they were thinking, you're not understanding that bottom 10% is a lot of our churn rate for higher earnings on the offer. I would put it this way. DoorDash in the meeting with him was like, yeah, what they didn't want to say. If we do that, what you need to understand is we don't take the same amount from all the drivers. We need those lowball 10%ers that have multiple accounts. We need them because they do $2 no tips. That allows us to charge $50 on an order, pay them too, make 48. And it makes up for some of these people that we have to, actually try and pay something to. Scumbaggery. So I didn't get to near anything. So we got a lot to go over this week on Thursday, but I do want to get into this. We are going to be talking about legislation, and it's, again, guys, my email. Oh, I still got that up. Sorry. And then I'm going to run through the rest of these comments, but then I wanted to at least hit on one other thing. So Let me see. Get a Crimson. Yeah. Okay. I'm way behind. I know. I still don't trust TikTok. Well, now, Christopher, now TikTok, I don't, from before, I know a lot of people who felt that way. So I don't blame you for that. But now what the problem is I've been on it forever. I have a decent following, but they flipped the script two other times. This time it was sold to a company that really changed things. I don't even know. Things I'm doing aren't allowed, but you can sell live accounts. So I don't even know what, to you, I would say, bravo, you never got on TikTok. And now in 2026, I'm saying, don't. It's not worth it. So, but isn't the Crimson through PNC Bank unlike the old card? I saw the DD control and I'm thinking, dude, they don't ever just relinquish. So there's some partnership there. And I don't know if they are through PNC. I don't pay enough attention, but I don't even know if I have a Crimson card. I know I got one. I don't think I ever activated it. Sounds like money laundering in the making. Well, not only, it's like I said before, it's fraud, it's racketeering. And that's another thing. You guys don't forget, this is all during a time. Again, another reason why DoorDash should be shutting this shit down. This is all during a time when, because it didn't just end, and in fact, it's expanded. And these take a while. But don't forget that last year, Henderson, Nevada initiated a RICO case on Uber Eats. I've told you guys 100 times. That RICO case, once built, applies to every gig app there is, even Rideshare, which does nothing to do with Uber Eats. I mean, I guess Uber maybe, but like even Lyft will be under that, because this whole RICO case is to prove that they want to get into every algorithm. They want to rip the computers out, and they want to dissect them. They don't want the walkthroughs they've been getting, but they needed a good reason. Now they've got this RICO case going. It's been going for about 12 months. I would need to look. Most RICOs, I know that the gang affiliated ones took 2-3 years, but I think the 2.5-3 years about the top out it takes. It takes a lot of manpower to do them. And they want to get it right so they can put the net over everybody. Yeah. And what I will say to this, we'll probably run a couple minutes over, but I need to mention this and then we'll go into it more later. But I have talked about this before and I did have it down here for tonight. So DoorDash in 2000, we had the .com crash. Some people saw it coming. Some people didn't. A lot of investors were told about it, but they're like, e-commerce is booming. What are you talking about? There's no way there's a crash coming. It's doing the best it's ever done. Anybody can open a mom and pop online and boom, start selling things. It crashed like a stock market crashed. It crashed. .coms were done in 2000. You guys can look that up. You guys can Google search .com crash 2000. You'll see, you'll read a lot of data on it. There are a lot of the same people and same type visionaries right now saying that we are sitting in the year, if not just outside of it, of the app crash. And I'm sure you guys are going, dude, no way. Games, everything I have on my phone is an app. Yep. But we are in the midst of what a lot of people call an app crash. And here's all I have to tell you guys about it. There's a lot more to be researched, but what I can tell you is look at what I've told you before. Look into the browser called Comet. Okay. Now their full thing isn't out yet. It's owned by a company called Perplexity. Perplexity is building an AI assist model browser and all-in-one U feature. AI assist Comet browser by company Perplexity. There is more venture capital interest in this than there was in Uber, DoorDash, or any of the companies when they were starting up. DoorDash already has some very loose ties to Comet. So does Uber. Why? Because the Comet browser is for you. It's going to be, This is a whole discussion we need to get into another time. But what I will tell you is how it applies for tonight. It is extremely secure. People aren't going to be able to create fake app accounts. There's a lot more to it, but it's things like all this going on right now, and Billy's comment about sci-fi nightmare, and Bubba Sue, I will be reporting these lives. It's all of this building up right now. This is what happened with if you weren't there and paying attention, this is what happened with the .com crash. It just bubbled until it said, dude. And when it did that, it didn't even fall remnants. There's basically Amazon and a couple travel sites now. It's like things are just not done the way that they were being started. And it just got demolished. So Amazon basically took over the internet, at least for a long time. There's Alibaba's and things like that now, and eBay's always been out there, but Amazon's a household name. According to all venture capitalists that were in on these apps, Comet will be all of your apps in one. So will DoorDash still be a company? Yes. Will Uber? Yeah. But you're going to say, I need a Rideshare to the from here to here. And without screwing around, without you having to look at surge rates, if you're at the airport and you open Lyft and you close it because the rates are too high to get home, and then you open Uber and Uber's more, and then you go back to Lyft and Lyft is twice as much as it was 5 seconds prior. That is by design. They know you are price checking between the two. There used to be a thing about take a shuttle bus to the especially here at Denver, take a shuttle bus to the rental cars, and at the rental cars, then hail an Uber, you'll save $30. Because when you do it in the geofence of the airport, you're going to get screwed. They know all this. All these are tactics. They know on Uber. It popped up to me the other day driving Uber Eats. I turned it on and it said, your battery's at 20%, or your battery's not at 20%. Get it to 20% before you turn Uber on. And I had it plugged into my car and it was like 19%. Not kidding. I'm not just saying I was one under. It was like 18 or 19%. I had it plugged in, but they were able to read my battery. We've heard this before, but I saw it in real time. I saw them say, no, you're not at 20% on your battery. How do you know that? Why do you know that? And I'm on iOS. People that know. Android, there's a little, it's not like it's allowed, but there's a little easier way to read some things. iOS is extremely difficult to get an app thrown through on or whatever. How are you reading my shit? How did Apple give you read rights on my phone? I'm just saying. This is some of the scumbaggery at its worst. They're a little careful. I did catch some. It did appear to me, again, I had Google Translate open and TikTok, and I was on a computer, not my phone, so that I could really pay attention. But if I can say this, DoorDash accounts are, and this isn't bots or anything, DoorDash accounts were 500 plus, depended on where you were so far from what I've seen. Instacart, for some reason, Instacart was like 700. Again, I never understand this. Maybe it's just my market. There must be people doing good on Instacart still or maybe they just have very few to sell, but those were like 7. Spark accounts were a little more than DoorDash on the streams I was seeing them on. Flex accounts were like $250 or $300. Those were the cheapest ones. And I didn't get to see Uber ones played out, at least with the money part. I did see a couple people asking, does the Uber do both Rideshare and Uber Eats? And I don't know if they bought one, or I was just trying to follow what I could follow. But I will be still sticking on these. So maybe I'm paranoid, but it seems like it's possible these accounts are from an inside source, because if they weren't, seems like Didi and the rest. Well, no, Didi, dude, remember this, bro. Last year, DoorDash had what? And I hate to say this, guys. I mean, it applied to Spark and other things too, but let's use DoorDash because again, I don't even know if I ever told you. The amount of Uber and Uber Eats drivers in this country are right around 5 million, best guess. But DoorDash has 8.5. I question if they even have market share. I know a lot of people can claim DoorDash pays better in their market, but if I turn on DoorDash and Uber Eats, bing, 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 they're horrible offers, but they got more volume. So why does Rideshare and Uber Eats have 5 million and DoorDash needs 8.5 million dashers? Because potentially 2 million of them are not legal. Those not legal accounts will take the shitty offers. So DoorDash doesn't want to call them out. DoorDash does not want to call them out. They're glad. They're like, sweet, dude. Look, what are we going to do? Facebook Marketplace is cracking down on us on the fake accounts. Well, there's a guy on TikTok live streaming selling them. Should we bust him? No, man. Hopefully more people will do that. That's my impression. I don't know. I don't put any faith in DoorDash. I put zero faith in them having. I think somebody gave Tony Hsieh and they said this is the most expensive ethical compass in the world. Here you go. It's made of gold. Here, just to help you out a little with your company's ethics. I think he took it, threw it on the floor, and stomped it till it was broke, and then hired somebody to take it out of there. And he was like, ethics, we don't practice that around here. I know some people think that he was a nice guy at the round table. I could give a shit if he's a nice guy. Here's my thing. I didn't think he was going to come in and be a dick to everybody. Of course he was a nice guy. But one tidbit we did get, Luis said, even on that first question, if you guys heard that, even Luis said, dude, even his team had to back it up a bit because Luis took him to the wall on it and got that second attempt to asking him again. And when that happened, even the team had to say, sorry about that. Tony was being data driven, and because he treated it like data. He was like, I don't have time to deal with that. I deal with just the data of it all. I could care less kind of thing. It was very, very, very poor choice of words. But I think that is how Tony really is, if not worse, in real life. I think he just got caught in a moment, and that's what you hope for. There's a big population of people signing up for the apps just for the money without taking one order. And I also I also read about people who either have been doing the apps or sign up for the app and sell it to a friend. That's my friend. Dude, are you understanding that you pay that anything? If your friend makes 30 grand on DoorDash this year, guess what, dude? There's taxes. Is your friend cool? Is he going to pay it? Is he going to be around come tax season? I honestly think people don't think about this kind of stuff. Like, dude, you do understand that by getting that account, giving it to him, and if you're obviously just going, dude, just do it. Yeah, man, it's cool. You do realize that if you do your taxes, and let's say you're a 6-figure earner, you have a family, everything's good for you, and you're trying to help somebody out. I get all that, but it's not the right way to do it. If he doesn't tell you that, and you're just thinking this guy made like a couple $1,000s, whatever, but let's say he made 30, 40 grand on DoorDash. You don't declare that, you're up for an audit. How weird would that feel to go, wait, how much did I make? And everything is set with 6 bear traps. Like, if this, then this, and it all leads to a bear trap where your leg sticks in it and it's not stuck in it. It cuts it clean off. You got a peg. The Super Bowl gig app commercials were stupid. The Super Bowl was stupid. The gig app commercials were stupid. And the halftime show was dumb as hell. And no, it wasn't about who it was or anything like that. It wasn't about the other things going on. You guys know me, I turned on lettuce. And even then I was like, what am I doing? Because I didn't care about the game either. Oh, Torsten, what's up, my man? Scum of the earth. this scam they are running. Absolutely. People fall for these scams every day. Absolutely. And if you don't have a way of earning, that's what I don't know if you were here, Torsten, but that's what I was alluding to earlier, was that there are people that are here that need some money. They're the low fish. So nobody's ever going to even go after them. At worst case scenario, they buy one of these accounts, they get it deactivated, and okay, then they just go buy another one. I mean, that is how easy, that's how sad it is. You just go onto TikTok again and you go, well, last time I bought from this guy, this time I'll buy from this guy. Oh, wait, I don't need a shipped account. I'll buy from this guy. If you bought from one guy, you can go buy from another. It doesn't matter. Where was it here? Bait and switch, yeah. Grubhub users will be complaining they didn't listen. Well, yeah. We're all tired of these offers under $6. I hear you. Vintage, I hear you. But that's why I was saying the other day, train your algorithm. Make sure to train your algorithm. I know there's so many different theories on YouTube, and you need to jump through 65 hoops of fire to get to the platinum aluminum level, and then you'll see a $5 order with a $1 tip. Promise. But that's hopium bullshit. Bottom line is, train your algorithm. Train your algorithm. You will, in the beginning, it's a little tough because you will see less offers. Of course you will. But what we're going to talk about with StreamYard in the next episode is kind of the same thing. Like I told you guys, data costs way more this year. Maybe you haven't really understood how much more. So let me just, in a nutshell, say, I used to pay $23. I've been with StreamYard for 4 years. I paid $23 a month for the personal account. The company sold to another account a year and a half ago. And then I had to pay $44 for the same services. They did add a couple things, but they took away something. Now, no joke, I've been paying $44 for the last 18 months, whatever. Now, I got an email today saying that starting next month, I have to pay $299 a month, and I can't use a lower level StreamYard. I'm a customer of 4.5 years with these people, and the company's sold, and I even went with their upcharging of price because I like it. But guess what? $44 to $299 a month. That's like what, more than 600%. I'm not paying it. I am already opting out, so I'll be finding something else. That's well timed, even though I know I'm behind. I'm way behind, you guys. The AI crash is the next, man. So much money. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the AI crash or the AI reality is sitting in. Like AI, we've seen I hate to say this. I know that they're doing tons more, so don't get me wrong. But it's like they put out AI after all this testing where they didn't let us see any of it. And they were like, look at just where we're at right now. And this is last year. We all remember it. Oh my God, you can make a graphic. You can make a thumbnail just by some words. That took them years to do that. They weren't talking about that though. ChatGPT is your personal best friend. You tell it to go find you information on this. It's going to go and find you information that you want to side with you. It's not going to be unbiased. So these things, these large language model AIs, they're not what we've been told. They're not. They're powerful. They can do a lot of things, but they're not there. Wait, you're live at the same time. Wait, why am I live at the same time as that? I'm live this time. I'm live at 6 p.m. Mountain, every week, Lynn, and you're 5 p.m. Mountain every week. Are you not? Am I wrong? These companies don't know how to make money without explaining. But Richard, I know you know this too. There's a way, and there's a way that, Jesus, everybody always says drop in the bucket. It's not a drop in the bucket when you're being sued for, let's take Uber. I have Rideshare Professor on. He's in the chat, or was. I don't know if he still is. Rideshare Professor is my guest on Thursday. Okay. Him and I always have great talks, and what was it? So these companies, yeah, we'll dive into that then, because that's a whole, I would go down an entire wormhole right now. Make the apps work for you. Yeah, again, train your algorithm, guys. I know the first, if you've been doing this for years, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, because you're going to go, man, already I'm not seeing as much. Fuck that, or screw that. I'm getting back into the program. I'm gonna get back up to my platinum aluminum. I'm the man BS status that don't matter at all. And I know it's a lot easier for me to say from transparent Colorado than it is for you guys, but I was doing it before too. Even when Para started, even when I was with Para that whole time, all the things that we did, like even the projects I wasn't involved in, but testing, it doesn't matter. The metrics don't matter. They don't matter. The only time that I said that they mattered, at least for DoorDash, let's pick on just DoorDash for a second. The only time I said they mattered, and I said this many times on the roundtable, was like Kim brought up a good point. Whenever it used to be that you had to have a certain tier to be able to dash now anytime, okay, it's still illegal by all means under every state law. Independent contractor in the labor law in your state, find independent contractor, that is completely illegal. But I understood the driver's motives of needing that. I need to be able to dash now. Okay, still illegal, but I understood that. But now Dash Now for everybody is coming around the country. If it's not to you yet, it will be. We all know they roll out beta 2, beta 3, and they do that in multiple cities. Well, they went through the 3 betas. And like I said the other day, I don't know if it's working, but they decided Dash Now for everybody is global, or to be United States launched. And they tried the three test phases, which probably involved 5 to 7 cities each time. And at the end of those, they said, "Hey, let's launch it." Yeah, this, you guys. So the only other thing I really wanted to hit. I wanted to hit on a lot, but this is how we end it. So, part of this problem, and Torsten, if he's still in here, will relate to this. Part of this problem is that from 2009 to 2016, Travis Kalanick was in charge of Uber. The other apps were just getting started. So even if you're in California, you're like, well, DoorDash was around 2014. Okay, but really in the country, it wasn't around yet. Everything kind of became like, the rideshare was around 2014, 15, started getting out of California. But all the other apps, maybe Postmates, maybe at the end, not really though. It took a minute. But when Derek Ashashawi took over, when Travis's mom died in March of 2017, they kicked Travis off the board. They had Derek come in from Expedia. He had experience. They made him the CEO. That's when everything really changed. That's when it became, like, bring the pay down, and again, don't forget that if by 2018, they were promising autonomous. They were promising autonomous by 2020. 2020, it became 2022. 2022, they didn't say anything. even though in 2020 they did, I think it might have been just before the pandemic. But then in 2023, they said by 2025, and then last year, Derek Ashashawi came out and said that by 2040, we should have 40% of the Uber drivers out there should be autonomous. First time that I ever felt any reality at all. And I still think, I don't think he's necessarily wrong that 40% of the rides could be autonomous. I don't want to go there right now, but it's the first time we heard a real number, because before it will replace drivers by 2020. Then in 2025, it will be 40% autonomous, 60% drivers. That was the first time I heard like a real number come out of him. And that caused a huge problem with the investors. And this is where we sit now. This is another way that we attack them, is that now the investors were all sold on autonomous. Don't worry, autonomous vehicles and autonomous delivery are coming, and we will have the drivers out of the picture. Can you imagine the profits? People were coming in. Oh yeah, dude, I'm all over it. Well, now the reality's set in. Derek had to make a harsh comment last year about, well, in 15 years, almost half the fleet will be, before you were telling them by 2020, all of them, and we'd be gone. So now they have to backtrack their words. And what started coming up, and in fact became a movement at Uber. And this won't sound like a big amount, but they got over 6% of the investors of Uber. And I think this is still a cause. I'll look it up before Thursday. But they have over 6. They're looking for more. They want more investors who want this data, because what they get is they get data on the earnings, probably deeper than we see on an earnings report, but they would get data they want. Well, the data they weren't getting was because of autonomous. And they started asking questions. Okay. So since autonomous isn't here tomorrow, can our drivers on the platform make a living wage? Because if we're talking about 2040 and not even half the fleet being autonomous, we need to know drivers can make a living wage. And there is over 6% of Uber investors demanding answers on that. When they pulled that forward to Uber corporate, right after the second earnings call last year in 2025, this group presented itself and said, we want deep data on each city to know how many drivers, blah, blah, how many hours. Are they making enough to live? If they're full-time or if they're part-time, are they making enough to fulfill the difference and the changes? Do you know what Uber told them? Uber's a publicly traded company. Uber told this, I think at the time they were 4.5%. They've raised in numbers of investors want to know. But even the 4.5% that went in and demanded that, they said, well, we're not going to show you that data. I get it when something is a trade secret or something, but it's not a trade secret that the straight answer to any of you investors who potentially are just scrolling by right now and going, wait, I'm interested in this. Look harder, get more people involved in that. Because no, I talk to drivers all the time. We piecemeal our lives together. None of us can make a living wage on any of your apps. However, if we work 1,000 hours a week, we might be able to pay the rent and the bills. So I'm not saying you can't. You can. And Dustin was in here earlier. Dustin works one app as far as I know, and he does for his city, his cost of living, all that. He can do the one app and make it work. That is a very small percentage of people. And the investors want to know why in the hell it took them so long to get to a profit. I mean, when did they get to a profit? 2-3 years ago? So that was the first profitable quarter for Uber. It was like 15 years in. And what happens once you make a profit and once you're publicly traded? What's expected? Growth. Not stagnant and not dips. Growth. There is no growth left. There is no growth left. So is it all doom and gloom? No. But why the hell can't some people get together and start going, hey, our lies, our manipulation, our bullshit, it's not working anymore, and it's not pulling in the dollars. Maybe we could start looking into ideas about being a better company, not lying to the people all the time, being transparent, this, that, the other, things we will get into on another podcast episode. I am sorry if you guys think I was just too worked up tonight, but that's how worked up I am. I think that this is one of the most despicable things we've ever seen. DoorDash knows, because there is no way there's thousands of people on TikTok selling accounts and they don't know. They absolutely know. They just don't care. As long as the food gets delivered, and I'm not doing it for $2 no tip. You guys aren't doing it for $2 no tip. But the people buying accounts are doing the $2 no tip. So when it's asked, why wouldn't DoorDash just shut this down? Well, you just got your answer. Right? I had somebody in the comments say when after Luis, like, well, if there's 8.5 million Dashers, how many are legal? And they went a little exaggerating. They're like, that means that what, 4 million are legal? 4 million are illegal accounts? No, I don't think it's that. But I don't really want to throw a dart at that one because I do think it's pretty damn high. And by illegal, yes, people illegally in this country getting accounts, but also people who just got deactivated and went and bought an account. That's illegal too, guys. An illegal account is an illegal account is an illegal account. That was a rant. Hope you guys didn't mind. I needed to get that out of my system. And audio podcast listeners, email me if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any of you guys, if you want to as well. You see it right there, steve@ridesharerodeo.com. I would also, if anybody wants to email me from the audio podcast, make sure to, if you want to see some of these screenshots, I got them. I'll send you some of the ones I was showing here. I'm not going to send more. I'm going to be collecting more and looking into this even more and more. And if you're on TikTok, I think you should do the same. There's no harm in looking. You don't have to say anything in the live chats, but go watch one for a minute. You'll be as disgusted as me. This will blow your mind. And my mind doesn't get blown by this kind of stuff anymore. I've seen all the kind of crappiest crap I could see. This tops it all. You guys, we got to do better. The companies have to do better, but we have to do better making them. I'm going to be pushing hard for phase 1 and 2. If you don't know what that means yet, ask somebody else in chat. They'll tell you. And by the way, do I have it? I do have it available. You guys, please, I need one thing from you. And I don't often ask this way, but I'm going to ask this way tonight, just because of what I had just seen. So if you have not signed this yet, I hope this comes out as a link. Please do. We're at about 270 signatures, which is great. 250 is a marker, but 500 is enough for me to, or is a lot more power for me when I'm going to talk to people in other states outside of Colorado about transparency law. All I want you to do, and this is very simple. I don't want you to do anything unless you agree. I want you to go and read this. Let's see if it comes out as a link. Yeah. I'm going to pin it to the top. I want you to go and read that. Read? I don't want to read. It's so short, guys. You can read. Anybody can read it in under 2 minutes. Anybody. Go read that. If you agree with it, add your name and your email. That's all you need to do. At the end, it asks for a donation if you want to help the cause. But if you just scroll down a little bit, it says not now or something. You don't need to add any money. This is free. Just add your email and your name if you agree with that. If you don't agree with it, don't add it. But I would be shocked if any of you don't agree with what is in there. That's what I ask of you. I think we're at around 278, 279. It would be sweet if by Thursday we're at 300. Can we do that? Can we get 21 signatures on there? Send it to a friend, family member. Send it to a customer. Send it to a friend of yours that doesn't do gig work but uses one of these apps. Even Rideshare. Rideshare people, get your ass on there. I signed the one. I'm cross on both, but I signed Sergio's to get the Rideshare one. We created this one for you delivery drivers. So sign it. Get your name on there. 277 is a lot. 500 is a lot of weight. It might not seem like it in the big picture, but it is. It's 500. These things don't often get enough attention. People don't take the time to do it. Doesn't take but 2 minutes. Please do it. And with that said, guys, that's the week. That's the episode. Torsten will be here with me Thursday. And if you guys have never seen Torsten and I do a live together, we get very real. Usually bases around safety and other things like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if this continues into some safety things as well. With that said, have a great night. Be good to each other. Be safe. Hustle hard. Earn smart. And we'll see you Thursday.